Tapping into wellness requires us to get our thoughts under control. On a computer, it's really easy. It's just Control, Alt, Delete, reboot, right? In humans, it's a little trickier and it's a lot more important. Our present thoughts form our future thoughts. Research tells us that regardless of our age, the decisions that we make form our next decisions. New pathways are constantly being formed in your brain. So what you do now, how you react to a situation now determines how your brain's going to react to a situation the next time it comes up. But here's the good news. Did you know you don't have to think every thought that comes into your brain? It's true. I want to take you on a little vacation. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. I want you just to sit back. Close your eyes and just get really comfortable. You're not in this room. You're on the beach. You can hear the ocean waves. You can smell the copper tone wafting through the air. And you can feel the warmth radiating on your skin. Stay in that place. Allow yourself that moment just to feel completely at peace. Now think of the top 5 things you need from the grocery store. Are you still on the beach? No, you're in the milk aisle. Open your eyes. Your mind can only think one thing at a time. So those negative thoughts are going to come in, whether it's about that cancer diagnosis or your coworker or your kids. The negative thoughts are going to slide in uninvited. The key is to slide them back out again. It was a pretty scary deal when I started to really think about what I was thinking about. I lived in a beautiful home. I had 3 wonderful kids, a doting husband, and I was miserable. Life felt very mundane. I made poor choices in drinking and smoking and eating and just was overall depressed with life. My mind would sit in that dark, negative place. And it wasn't until I began intentionally monitoring my thoughts that I realized that I could change them. When a negative thought comes into our brain, we need to be able to reject it and replace it with another thought. Control, Alt, Delete. The Control, Alt, Delete is the rejecting. But unfortunately, that by saying, I reject that thought is not enough to move your brain into the next place. So I would literally say to myself hundreds of times a day, I reject that thought. The judgment about why is that lady wearing that shirt? I reject that thought. And then I would think to myself, what do I want to put in my life? And I came up with 9 words: love, joy, peace, patience, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control. I found them in a really good book. And I wrote them down and I put them in my pocket. And when I would think to myself, oh my gosh, she's a terrible mother. Why in the world would she spank her child in the middle of the grocery store? I reject that thought. Love, joy, peace, patience. Oh, I'd remember I'm a terrible memorizer. So I would pull out that piece of paper. Love, joy, peace, patience, kindness. That's an important one. And just that 15 seconds that it took me to say, I reject that thought, pull out the piece of paper and look at my new thoughts was enough to completely change what I was thinking about. I had forgotten what the negative thought was in the first place. A funny thing happens when we begin to reject and replace our thoughts. We become happier. We become more grateful. We start treating people better. And they start treating us better. And that's the place where kindness lives.